This Ferrari is yours if you make it run. Millionaire humiliates a black man, not knowing. I'll give you the Ferrari if you can make it run. Preston Hale's voice sliced through the courtyard of Hale Exotics, his private luxury dealership. His laughter followed, sharp and echoing against the glass walls. As he pointed toward a mangled red Ferrari abandoned in the corner like a carcass no one dared to bury. The wreck was a 2019 Ferrari 488 Pista, once a masterpiece, now a twisted monument of Preston's ego. Blown engine, destroyed chassis, dead wiring, nothing more than polished rubble he kept as a trophy after bankrupting a young street racer in court. In front of the dealership's entrance, Sam Rivers, 72 and gentle in demeanor, leaned out of his old 1998 pickup. He wasn't there for games. He had come only to pick up his granddaughter, Maya. But when his aging Ford coughed its last breath and stalled in Preston's driveway, fate delivered him straight into the hands of a man who lived for humiliation. Preston snapped his fingers and raised his phone. "Already filming. Ladies and gentlemen," he announced to customers and salesmen who began to circle like vultures, "our distinguished guest seems to be an expert. Look at him, he practically smells like motor oil." The crowd laughed. Sam's calm hands tried the ignition again, once, twice. No spark, Preston smirked. "Tell you what, since you look like you know engines, I'll make you a deal. Fix that," he pointed at the wrecked Ferrari, "and I'll sign it over to you. On paper, no jokes, phones lifted, cameras recorded, hashtags multiplied. Get Ferrari impossible, old man mechanics, or comedy at Hale Exotics." Sam stepped out slowly. Work-worn palms, grease-lined knuckles. Clothes too simple for a showroom filled with Italian engineering and tailored suits. To them, he was a punchline. To Preston, he was entertainment. 5 certified mechanics gave up on it. Preston continued, circling Sam like a showman. "But hey, maybe Grandpa here has magical fingers." The crowd roared. Sam ignored them all. His eyes fell on the Ferrari. Not with defeat, with memory. "May I take a closer look?" he asked. Preston nearly choked laughing. "By all means. Climb in, hug it, pray over it. Do whatever you like. Just don't bleed on the metal. It costs more than your house." Sam walked toward the wreck. His posture changed, shoulders steady, breath controlled. His fingertips traced the dented hood, mapping hidden lines only a true engineer would recognize. For a split second, a small, knowing smile flickered and disappeared. No one noticed. No one except Maya, watching from inside the showroom, brows furrowed, sensing a storm behind her grandfather's stillness. What Preston and his crowd didn't know was simple. Those old hands had once designed engines their favorite cars still worshipped. Preston wanted a 5-minute humiliation. Instead, he created a spectacle that stretched past an hour. Laughter, mockery, live streams, and taunts. But beneath the noise, something else was waking up. And by the time it roared to life, every person in that courtyard would wish they had never laughed. Laughter rolled across the courtyard like cheap thunder as Sam Rivers continued working in silence, examining the Ferrari wire by wire, panel by panel. Maya was still out on her lunch break. She had no idea what she would return to. To Preston Hale, that made the spectacle even sweeter. Humiliating a stranger was one thing, but humiliating one with no witnesses to defend him was far more entertaining. Preston angled his phone for a better shot, now live streaming to his 200,000 followers. "Look at this, people," he narrated theatrically. 72 years old, sleeves rolled up, and he really believes he can resurrect a dead Ferrari. I mean, the confidence. It's almost poetic, more laughter, more emojis flooding the stream, more phones recording. Sam, unbothered, removed the shattered control panel. His hands did not move like a hobbyist guessing his way through a puzzle. They moved like a surgeon who already knew where every vein and artery lived. That bothered a few people in the crowd. The precision didn't match the insult they wanted to believe. Cole Mercer, one of Preston's salesmen, puffed out his chest and shouted, "Hey, old man, my dad's hiring at his bike shop. Want me to put in a word before you embarrass yourself completely?" The crowd howled. Sam didn't even blink. At his age, he had learned that some insults are so small, they aren't even worth stepping over. Because while Preston and his spectators spent their lives consuming luxury machines, Sam had once spent his building something far more complex. Not cars, but engines, systems, prototypes. Machines that demanded precision at the level of obsession. Machines that only a rare breed of engineer could bring into existence. Preston checked his gold Rolex with exaggerated flair. 45 minutes. Still going. I have to admit, folks, most people quit after 10. We should admire this kind of persistence. Or denial. Sam finally spoke, calm, steady, eyes still locked on the engine. Mr. Hale, may I ask you something? The billionaire paused. The confidence in Sam's tone didn't match the image Preston had crafted. You know my name? He muttered, briefly thrown off balance. Sam lifted his gaze, meeting Preston's eyes for the first time. Have you ever built something with your own hands? Something that lived only in your mind until you forced it into reality? Preston scoffed, caught off guard. I built a real estate empire. Sam shook his head, voice barely above a murmur, but sharp enough to silence a crowded courtyard. That's not building. That's buying. The laughter died, completely. Something in Sam's voice, its certainty, its history, didn't belong to a helpless old man. It belonged to someone who had earned mastery the hard way. 2 hours passed. Then, without looking up, Sam said, Phillips screwdriver. Number 2, insulated grip. Cole Mercer froze. I don't... I'm not sure if we... Third drawer, Sam continued. Red workbench, second shelf. Next to the torque set. Cole turned pale. He walked to the bench. The tool was exactly where Sam claimed. How could a stranger describe a workshop he'd never stepped inside? Preston forced a brittle laugh, trying to recover control. So you've worked in a lot of shops. Big deal. But the arrogance in his voice was cracking. The audience could hear it. So could he. Just then, Maya Rivers returned from lunch. She stopped cold at the sight of a crowd and her grandfather in the center of it. Surrounded, mocked, live-streamed, and baited for sport. Her stomach dropped. What is going on? She demanded, pushing through the ring of spectators toward Sam. And for the first time since the humiliation began, Preston Hale lost his smile. An employee, Preston announced loudly, noticing Maya but failing to recognize the connection. Come closer. You'll enjoy this. Your friend here is trying to fix a Ferrari that 5 certified mechanics have declared dead. Maya froze. She wanted to shout the truth. That's my grandfather. And he's not just someone, but she swallowed her words. She knew Preston's cruelty. One wrong sentence could cost her job. So she chose silence. She trusted Sam's calm more than her own rage. Meanwhile, Sam had cracked open the Ferrari's main electrical heart. His movements were no longer merely impressive. They were unsettling, calculated, surgical. A few people stopped laughing. A few stopped recording. For the first time, the audience sensed something was off about their assumptions. Then Sam spoke. The engine wasn't destroyed by the crash, he said without looking up. It was sabotaged. The word hit the crowd like a dropped wrench. A ripple of confusion spread through the onlookers. Preston laughed, but this time the laugh had cracks in it. Sabotaged, please. It was a police-investigated accident. Oh, it was investigated, Sam agreed, calmly lifting a burned wire from the chassis, but by people who didn't know what to look for. See this? He pointed to the wire. Cut first. Burned after. To mimic overheating, he tapped a metal brace next. And here, forced torsion. A manual brake applied intentionally. You can fake chaos, but you can't fake the patterns left behind. Even untrained eyes could see the truth now. Conversations died mid-sentence. The mockery evaporated. Instead of laughter, there was tension and curiosity. Preston's mask slipped. This is ridiculous. You can't prove... Sam interrupted. Not with volume, but with certainty. I can. For the first time, Sam smiled. Not in pride, but in recognition. The kind a master craftsman feels when a hidden flaw finally reveals its source. Every engine, he continued, wears its history in metal, like fingerprints. And when you've built machines like this for decades, you learn to read the scars. Maya's heart pounded. She knew exactly who her grandfather truly was, the former chief engineer of Ferrari's racing division in Maranello, Italy. The man who designed legends, not repaired them. Sam's voice dropped into a controlled, almost chilling calm. Tell me, Mr. Hale, how much did the insurance company pay you for this catastrophe? That question drained the blood from Preston's face. The crowd turned toward him. Something far uglier than humiliation was now exposed. Fear. Sam removed one final panel and whispered, 45 years. That's how long I built engines in Maranello. The courtyard froze. Maranello. Even the crowd knew that name. Ferrari's sacred ground. The factory where only the world's finest engineers ever worked. Cole Mercer, who once taunted Sam, muttered, impossible. Sam reached into the engine and pulled out a small metal plate. Serial number F209, SR447. He held it up for everyone to see. The initials don't lie. SR, Sam Rivers. I designed this engine myself in March 2019. Preston's jaw trembled. His throat made sounds but no words. Sam stepped forward, his tone now sharp as a scalpel. So tell me, Mr. Hale, how does an engine I engineered to be fail-safe just happen to collapse in the exact 3 places that trigger the maximum insurance payout? Maya now understood everything. Her grandfather had never been desperate. He had been studying the crime in plain sight. Sam lifted a final component. This system wasn't damaged by impact. It was forced to run at 40% above its thermal limit for exactly 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Long enough to destroy it, short enough to collect a fortune. Phones lifted again, but not to mock. Now they were documenting a scandal, Preston snapped. You can't prove any of this, it's just the word of some. Sam finished his sentence for him, voice steady. A black man? The billionaire froze. You're right, Sam continued calmly. If this were only my word, you could bury it. But it isn't. Sam raised his phone. I've just sent photos and a full technical report to Alessandro Vitale, Director of Engineering at Ferrari Maranello. Almost instantly, Sam's phone began to ring. He looked at Preston. May I take this call? It's Maranello. Sam answered the call and switched to speaker. Marco, the Italian voice carried through the courtyard. Sam, I saw the photos. This is the engine you designed for Preston Hale. How was it involved in a failure? That unit is impossible to destroy under normal conditions. My question as well, Sam replied, eyes fixed on Preston, especially since the failure pattern contradicts the built-in safety system. Are you recording this? Marco asked. Legal needs it. That Ferrari was insured under false pretenses. Preston stepped forward, trying to silence the call. Sam shifted away without effort. There is more, Sam continued. The current owner claims 5 mechanics called this engine beyond repair. Marco's voice tightened. Lies are incompetence. You built that model to survive 500,000 kilometers. Does not die this way. Maya stepped forward for the first time. Grandpa, do you need anything? The crowd reacted. Preston finally understood who she was. Your granddaughter works for me, he muttered. For 2 years, Maya answered. I have listened to you insult people like him the entire time. Sam ended the call with Marco and addressed Preston directly. For 45 years, I built engines. 847 models. Trained engineers on 3 continents. And now in retirement, I choose silence and family. But even a quiet man reacts when integrity is tampered with. Preston tried to interrupt. You have no proof, Sam held up his phone. I recorded everything, including your admission about the insurance payout. $2.3 million for a staged failure. Preston froze. His voice failed. The insurance company will receive the same files, Sam added, along with Marco Bellini's technical confirmation of sabotage. The crowd stared as Sam re-entered the engine bay. 10 minutes of controlled precision. No hesitation. No lost movement. The engine ignited, smooth and flawless, the idle tone clean and lethal. 5 mechanics had called it dead. Sam brought it back to life without a second attempt. Someone in the audience spoke. Can I post this? Post it, Sam said. Maya watched him work. How did you know it was yours? When you build something, scars tell you who touched it and who tried to break it. 3 weeks passed. Sam sat in an FBI conference room while agents reviewed documents and digital files spread across a long table. What began as a public humiliation was now evidence in a federal fraud case. Agent Martinez spoke without looking up. Your recording and your technical breakdown are now key evidence. The FBI briefing concluded with a final statement from Agent Martinez. Sam, we confirmed that Preston Hale defrauded multiple insurers using the same sabotage method you identified. 17 luxury vehicles, 5 years. Same pattern, same payout structure. He was arrested yesterday. Charges include fraud, bribery attempt, obstruction, and resisting arrest. He will not return to public life soon. Sam listened without reaction. Age had turned his anger into discipline. When we froze his accounts, Martinez added, he tried to bribe the lead investigator with $200,000. That attempt is now part of the case file. Across the city, control of Hale Luxury Motors had changed hands. With Preston's assets seized, investors installed new leadership. Maya Rivers was promoted to general manager. Merritt replaced Vanity. She called Sam that afternoon. Cole Mercer apologized. The video ruined his sleep. He regrets everything. The viral footage had passed 15 million views. Comment threads focused less on Sam's triumph and more on the lesson. Appearance reveals nothing about capability. Messages poured in from retired engineers, Ferrari, Mercedes, BMW, each sharing stories of being dismissed after retirement. Marco Bellini flew in from Italy to see Sam in person. What was planned as a quiet visit became a public event when Ferrari corporate decided to make it official. Marco stood on stage beside Sam. Ferrari's standards were built by men like Sam Rivers. His precision and integrity shaped our engines and our reputation. Ferrari announced the Sam Rivers Engineering Scholarship, a full-ride program for young talent from low-income communities. 10 students per year, selection by skill, not bloodline. Back in his neighborhood, Sam's garage became a training ground. He began teaching, not with speeches, just engines, tools, and silence. Curiosity did the rest. Darius Cole, 17, became his most focused student. One evening he asked, "How did you stay calm when Preston tried to humiliate you?" Sam continued working as he answered, "People who need to belittle others broadcast their weakness. You don't answer weakness with reaction. You answer it by building something that lasts." Meanwhile, Preston Hale lived the opposite outcome. His real estate network collapsed. Investigators exposed multiple projects financed with fraudulent payouts. He lost everything: assets, status, and any public credibility. Business schools dissected his downfall as a case study in character failure. His downfall circulated on the same platforms where he once flaunted superiority. His own arrogance became the exhibit. Cole Mercer eventually went to see Sam Rivers face to face. The meeting happened inside Sam's garage classroom, surrounded by a mix of young trainees. Different backgrounds, same hunger to learn. Cole spoke first. "Mr. Rivers, my behavior was inexcusable. I don't expect forgiveness, but I needed to face you and admit it. I was ignorant. I won't repeat that mistake." Sam stopped working and looked at him directly. Everyone has judged someone at some point. The only thing that matters is whether you evolve. If you want to fix what you broke, then teach these students how to deal honestly with customers. They'll need it later. Cole accepted without hesitation and began showing up to the workshops. His behavior shifted. He listened more than he talked. 6 months later, he earned a legitimate promotion, this time based on results instead of arrogance. The restored Ferrari remained at the dealership, now renamed Rivers Premium Motors. A steel plaque beside the car documented the incident and its lesson: never underestimate anyone. During the grand opening, Sam was invited to speak. The room was filled with officials, engineers, entrepreneurs, and retired professionals who understood prejudice more than they ever admitted publicly. Sam's speech was direct. "For 45 years, I built machines that crossed continents. Now I'd rather build something that outlives engines. People with discipline and dignity. Skill means nothing without character." The audience rose in a sustained standing ovation. The Sam Rivers Scholarship expanded rapidly from 10 students to 50. Donations poured in internationally, and the program widened into mechanical, aeronautical, naval, and renewable engineering. Darius Cole, Sam's most diligent student, earned full admission to Caltech. In his acceptance letter, he wrote, "Knowledge requires humility. Strength means lifting others, not standing on their backs." Then an unexpected letter arrived. Preston Hale, writing from prison. No insults, no excuses, just acknowledgement of his collapse and a request for forgiveness. He admitted that the engine incident exposed not only his fraud, but the emptiness of the life he built. Sam replied with precision, not sentiment. Step 1 is admitting the damage. Step 2 is rebuilding through actions, not promises. At 73, Sam Rivers found purpose, not revenge. His garage became a destination for engineers, students, and mentors worldwide. Maya watched him teach and finally asked, "Did you know that day would change everything?" Sam continued tightening a bolt before answering, "When you live with integrity, life handles the consequences." The truth doesn't need help to win. Preston's empire died. Sam's impact multiplied. One man lost everything built on deceit. Another built a legacy on precision and character. No speeches. No bitterness. Just a final unspoken verdict. Integrity outlasts arrogance always.